Welcome to Rob and Blakey's Commentary Box podcast. I'm the former BBC Wales football correspondent, Rob Phillips, and this is my partner, Nathan Blake, the former Wales international. We're brought to you with the valued support of the journalism and media courses at the University of South Wales Atrium campus. Now, this is our third episode. If you missed episode 1, where were you? Nathan Blake said this about Wrexham's promotion chances.
Yeah, I keep saying I think they're top six. I think they're nailed for top six. I said that before some of their signings. I think they'll get their signings right, and they'll carry on doing what they've done for the last 4 seasons.
Yeah,
I can see them being top six, challenging. Yeah,
that would be phenomenal.
I can see. Well, I can see. People might laugh, but I can see Wrexham, if not in the Premier League by the end of this season, then within the next 2 to 3 seasons, definitely.
Big talk from Nathan Blake. Big talk in episode 2 by Wales legend Jess Fishlock.
Please tell me that you're not hanging them up internationally and you're going again.
Yeah. This is the truth. Because, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't fully decided yet.
That was Jess Fishlock.
Take your time. Just, wait. Coffee for someone expected breakfast or something?
Who hadn't decided and hasn't decided yet on whether she will quit international football. In fact, I thought she was edging towards staying.
Yeah, I hope so.
She had decided, but she hasn't now. But one player who has decided to quit playing football is Kayleigh Barton, as she now is.
Yeah.
89 caps, 22 goals for Wales.
Yeah.
A great servant for her country, Nick.
Yeah. Played, I think, in Italy as well. So, yeah, very good player, great servant. But I think it's important that players like herself stay involved in the women's game, especially. So the fact that she's been brought into the fold for Wales in the under-17s level.
Under-17s assistant coach.
Yeah,
that's
I think
that's do.
Because you can't, that experience, especially when you're in the early stages where the women's game is in trying to get to, multiple tournaments continuously. Her experience at that level as well, at 17, that's a very, tilting moment. It can go one way or the other. So having her experience and her knowledge is, hugely important.
Interesting. On X, at this response, we are on all social media platforms, on X, on Threads, on Blue Sky. Just look out for Rob and Blakey. This came from Ang Harrod. She said, Kayleigh played a key part in the 3-0 win against Russia in Newport in 2018. One of the best performances I've seen from the Wales women's side. Scored 2 really well-taken goals. I remember the game. She really did well. Always gave 100% when representing her country. Diolch, Kayleigh. And I think we all sort of agree to that, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, this is not there for this purpose, but I would say, where's the camera? We salute you, Kayleigh, as Welsh fans and as Welsh pundits, because she's been fantastic.
If you're listening on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcast, Nathan Blake donned a Wales bucket hat. So we wish Kayleigh all the best. As you say, Nathan, I think it's really good that she's staying involved
massively
with the Welsh setup. And in fact, at the Euros, she was asked whether she wanted to become Wales manager, and she didn't say no.
Well, clearly she's got ambition to go in and coach. And, never say never, as they say. Let's see where she is in 2 to 3 years' time.
Yeah, one of the great characters of Welsh football. Wrexham, back in the Championship for the first time in 43 years. Defeated Southampton.
Well, got Wrexhamed,
yeah. 2 late goals.
Yeah. Disappointing for them. They'll take a lot of confidence from the game, though, I think, because the way they performed, typically Wrexham had to beat, quite strong and powerful in their running and their attacking. Didn't try and, 20 passes a goal, direct at times.
That's not their way, yeah.
No,
exactly.
direct at times. But, I think they probably went to hold on too early. I think you still got to push and try and get that second goal and that third goal. I'm one of them, when they're down, keep them down rather than slip into that defensive mode.
Yeah, well, you've got to say they may have caught Southampton at their most dangerous because they're swelled with players. Who knows what will happen at Southampton before the end of the window because they're sort of braced for losing some of their players. But we shall see on that. I think the other interesting thing was that they did a Wrexham in the Carabao Cup, didn't they?
Yeah,
3-1 down to Hull, going into injury time. 2 goals from Ollie Palmer.
First of all, what did you think of the Southampton game? What was your opinion on that?
I thought they were good value. I didn't think they did sit back a bit second half. I thought the key moment was when Kiefer Moore went off, which brings us to Ollie Palmer because we're recording this on Wednesday morning. 2 goals for him. He scored barely more than that last season. I think it was 3 goals last season in total. And you
should get him a move.
We were saying, well, this is it. I mean, is he putting himself in the shop window? Or if you're Phil Parkinson, you're thinking, and he's always operated like this, I need 4 strikers. Elliot Lee also scored against Hull in the Carabao
I think
Cup.
you need 4 strikers if you feel, I don't know whether Palmer could handle it at championship level or not. I honestly can't say I've seen him enough to warrant that. So, if you're Phil Parkinson, that's a decision you've got to come to. Do you think he can, be introduced off the bench? Or if you've got a couple of injuries, can he carry you for 15 games?
So you're Ollie Palmer seeing Kiefer Moore come in. You're seeing Kiefer Moore come in very much alike of yourself.
Writings on the wall.
Right.
You're on
he doesn't think that though, does he, Ollie Palmer?
Oh, Palmer. Yeah, you'll know. I'm next to be shifted out the door, whether that's this transfer window, January transfer window, or this time next year. His days are numbered. Wrexham are going in a direction where they're looking. Their signings are lower Premier League Championship players now. That's the direction they're going in. And Palmer's never been a proven Premier League player. Whether he could be a top quality Championship player and get you 15, 20 goals, I don't know. But he'll be thinking to himself and be waiting, right, I hope those 2 goals, anyone who was thinking of coming in, they'll probably think, right, yeah, let's go and get him now.
But if that's the thought, though, Kiefer Moore's injury, we don't know how long he's going to be out yet. Obviously, connotations for Wales, because their first game is not far away, early next month. But does that alter the sort of
still 2 or 3 strikers there, and you can play with a single striker up front, especially in the Championship. Might be something they adopt. I think that's why they got Kiefer in the first place, right? They can go with that big solo striker and have people, you can change the shape around him, sort of thing. So, it's an opportunity, but it's not guaranteed. He's not sort of 100% gonna be right next in line. And you got to remember, it's the Carabao Cup, so teams, especially Championship teams, they'll play a weakened team, expecting to get through, even though it was a tough game. Yeah,
well, they did it on penalties, and he scored. So you're a striker. You're Ollie Palmer, you get 2 goals and then score a penalty. You claiming a hat-trick on that?
Every time, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly.
I could score
it. I
could score in a warm-up, I take it.
I'm going to check your goal record. One other thing on Wrexham, they've got Sheffield United on Saturday, which will be a tough game, although they got battered on Saturday night by...
What's going on, Blades?
Bristol City. Well, yeah, former club of yours.
Yeah. It's not a greasy chip, buddy.
Yeah, quite.
More like a night out in Barnsley.
But what struck me last weekend was the amount of glee among some fans of other clubs that Wrexham had lost. Put that in your documentary. That was a common theme.
Hey,
yet,
haters, man. Haters. Live with them all my life, Robert. Don't care. Don't hate on me because of my name, because of my game, because of my color, because of my family, because, hey, listen, you do what you gotta do. I'm not bothered about haters, mate. I don't do haters. It's only jealousy, right? And I don't care if it's fans from England, Wales, wherever. It's only jealousy, mate. You know, at the end of the day, give them credit for what they're doing.
well, interesting that Gareth Owen, former Wrexham player, he put on X that day, retweeted something that on that day in 2011, Wrexham fans paid a £100,000 bond in 24 hours to keep the club alive.
But that's
in other
all
words,
fans.
this is not a club who they had
a
15 years in the wilderness, didn't they?
Yeah. But
Outside of the
you look at Newport going out of the Football League, out of business. You know, Bury, however you want to say it. You know, not come back. You know, so I just think, you know, remember Swansea was like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And my boy James Thompson, Tomo, got the
Thomas,
got the equaliser or the winner in the game.
Scored against Hull.
Yeah. So, you know, there are remarkable stories, I think, around every club. And, you know, Wrexham, obviously the fans bailing them out, as most clubs, I think, probably every club in the league and non-league, if their club was going to the wall, the fans would try and bail them out. But, you know, now they've turned over and they've got investment and they're going in. Just you know, that's... For me, I'm just not. I don't hate like that. I just like look and think, yeah, fair play to you.
Okay, and before Wrexham fans hit X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, any of the social media that we're on, it's not Sheffield United for Wrexham on Saturday. It's West Bromwich Albion, who they've never played in the league. So let me quickly correct that. My first big mistake in 3 episodes. I don't think that's too bad for me.
Well, for you, that's unbelievable.
But I was right on one thing about Wrexham. Danny Ward did start.
Who?
Danny Ward started in goal.
Yeah, he did.
Ahead of Arthur Okonkwo, who played in the penalty shootout winner
last night
in the Carabao Cup.
Played well.
Yeah, so Danny Ward, here's one for you. Leeds back in the Premier League this weekend. Danny Ward started for Wrexham. We'll see what happens against West Brom this weekend.
Why is it for me anyway? Why ain't it for you?
Okay, I'm saying Craig Bellamy may have a decision to make if Caldalo doesn't start as Leeds United number 1.
Don't you think Caldalo has solidified his position as number 1?
I think he has, yeah. I agree. Yeah. I'm with you on that. We agree on something for a change.
Okay. I don't like it when we agree, though, because then we can't bicker.
Well, okay. Well, we'll find something to bicker over. Don't worry about that. I mean, it's just argumentative sometimes for the sake of it, aren't you?
You sound like my mum. Bloody hell.
Are we saying that Craig Bellamy, in general on the Premier League, will think Carl Darlow, Ethan Ampadu, Joe Rodon, Daniel James
all
back in the Premier League, Connor Roberts back in the Premier League with Burnley. Yes, he's lost Nathan Broadhead and you know, Moore was at Ipswich, wasn't he? So an overall gain for Craig Bellamy and
anybody playing playing Premier League Championship football. I think if you look back to sort of Rob Page's era, Rob had to cope with a lot of players who weren't playing, right? And we went to World Cups and what have you, unbelievably. But he had to cope with players who weren't necessarily playing in the Championship and rarely playing in the Premier League. Now the table has sort of turned. A lot of those players, or a lot of the players that are in or been drafted in, are actually playing, which is it's a huge bonus if you're Craig Bellamy, because you're in form. I don't care what anyone says. Very few can go 3-4 months without playing and step in and be bang on. You might have a bang on game, but I guarantee you wouldn't have a consistency over a 6-game period.
Yeah. Now, part of our team here is Matt, the Middlesbrough fan,
Matt the Middlesbrough.
who would have been lording it over us after his side's win over Swansea in their opening championship game. Tough ask. I watched the game and...
Are you talking this Matt?
Yeah,
That
Matt,
okay.
who's now silent because Middlesbrough were thrashed in the Carabao Cup last night. But Swansea, no shots on goal on Saturday. And we said, haven't we, that they need a striker or a source of...
And conceded from a set piece, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
But...
Two men on him as well. Fry scored.
And Dale Fry,
Yeah, and then there was 2 Swansea players on him. The person who was marking him, the person I think was supposed to be in front of Fry, or as an extra marker, I don't know, but they'll be disappointed. That's the kind of thing that does your head in as a player, because you'll watch it, Monday morning, Sunday evening, wherever, watch it with the team and the manager, and you're looking thinking, oh God, he's bullied me a bit there. Do you know what I mean? I got to be stronger. You'll know yourself. So they'll be disappointed, Swansea, with that. They should have come out with a draw.
But how much does Alan Sheehan take into account now, on the back of that, a 3-1 win over Crawley in the Carabao Cup with goals from Ronald, Bobby Wales and Ethan Galbraith, who actually had one disallowed as well, and who clearly on the back of last night's game likes to take a pot shot.
Yeah, you've seen it enough, Rob. You know the game. Well, kind of. You know the game.
Thanks.
But winning breeds confidence, doesn't it? So they'll be disappointed to have lost to Middlesbrough, right? You go all that way, and you always say you travel like 6 hours up there, you play the game, and you'll be on the coach on the way back like, we should have got something from that game. But then come against Crawley, you're not going to play your full strength team. Near it, but I don't think they're fully strengthened. But then it's easy to come a cropper in that sort of game. I mean, you both beat Crawley on the weekend, but it's still easy to come a cropper in that sort of game. So a win's a win. People scoring goals. It doesn't matter if it's in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, League. It's all adding to the momentum of winning and belief and togetherness and creating a great changing room and great for the manager.
I think Swansea needed that as well.
Yeah.
And they're bringing in Malik Yalkoye, a midfield player, Ivory Coast under-23 international from Brighton. And I've got to say, Brighton are pretty good at loaning out, and you tend to get a bit of quality from them.
Well, they got great recruitment.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed it works out for the lads. But I always say, give someone time to settle in, just because you just never know. And even if it don't go well, it doesn't make them a bad player. How many times we've seen players come to the Premier League Championship and not do it, and then you see them in Italy and Champions League final or Europa League final, you're thinking, hey, he was awful for us. And, he's there scoring goals or playing well.
And what I'll say is, a good thing for Wales is that I thought Ben Cabango had a decent game against Borough. Mm. And I thought last season was I think I said this maybe on last week's pod, that I thought last season was his best season.
So are you saying, to digress slightly, are you saying Rodon and Mepham, you're splitting up, or Davis as a 3, you putting Cabango in there? Would you do that if you're Craig
I think
Bellamy?
It's too early to say yet. I mean, with Cabango playing well, it does give the option of playing Ampadu in the heart of the midfield, which Bellamy has done. Page did before him. Rodon, I think it's a big season for Rodon, because he's not really performed the best in Premier League, is he?
Well, but I think you've got.
I think he will feel he's got something to prove at top level.
I'm not sure I'd agree with that. I think you've got to take into consideration as well. You go in and it's your sort of first season, plus you shifted around a bit. Do you understand what I mean? And then he found a home at Leeds and then signed for Leeds. I wouldn't look at his Premier League season and say it was a failure. They got relegated, but I thought he'd done okay. I thought he was all right. I thought, the keeper probably cost them quite a few points at times. So I think he'd be better just because he's older and more mature, and you've seen that in his Welsh performances.
Yeah.
He's always aggressive, and
Yeah.
I've always loved that about him. But when he first came in, you're aggressive, but you're not thinking too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as you mature, you think about the game a lot more. You think about your positioning.
And I think he broadened his horizons going to France for a season as well. Scored a goal there as well. So it's going to be really interesting. And, Swansea got Sheffield United on Saturday.
Right, yeah.
And again, I think it'll be important for them to perform. It is important to perform at home, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to make that point earlier, whether it's Wrexham, Newport, Cardiff, Swans, you've got to win your home games, right? Or you've got to be, winning, I always say 15 home games a season to be mid-table and picking up your points away from home, obviously. But you want that wins at home. You don't want like 8 wins, so many draws, so many losses. You just don't need that over a season. You get to build confidence and to build your fan base's confidence. I think that was evident last night with Wrexham, right? Their fans know last 10 minutes, we're a nightmare for teams. If we score this place, we all go forward, right? It was similar. Neil Warnock had it at Cardiff, right? I used to say, if you come to Cardiff and you're 1-0 up and it's the last 10 minutes and you go, right, we're going to play attack, lead defence and sit on the edge of our 18-yard box, it's the worst thing you do. Press Cardiff high. Don't let them get the ball forward because they'll get direct balls into your box, corners, free kicks, and eventually with the fans and the momentum, you just fold 9 times out of 10.
You're listening to Rob and Blakey's Commentary Box podcast, loud and clear on Welsh football. We are recorded at the University of South Wales Atrium campus with the support of the media and journalism courses. Look out for us on X, on all the main social platforms, on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and of course YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify. What about Cardiff then? Reuben Colwill, we're both big fans, but he's lit up the games already, the 2 home games, 2 superb free kicks.
Yeah, and 2 different techniques.
Yeah, one against Swindon in the Carabao Cup. They went through 2-1. Cian Ashford also scored.
Yeah, I love Cian.
Also hit the post with a great chance as well.
Yeah, he can't score more.
But I like Cian Ashford as well.
Yeah.
But I think that it says something about Reuben and the reputation after 3 games. We're not going to go overboard about him because people say, those who have doubts about Reuben always say...
There are a few, isn't there, Rob?
There are plenty.
Amongst our peers, there are a few. Well, listen, if you look at him and think the boy's not talented, then okay, I'm not going to argue with you. But I would say I would question your knowledge on football, right? Because I've seen him do things, like we've said, I've seen him do things that other players simply can't do.
Yeah.
Right? So the free kick against Peterborough, the open, flat technique, are there many players at Cardiff who've got that in the bag? I don't think there's another one. Maybe if we looked, but to actually try it and execute it. And then last night, a different free kick again. That when he hits it's like a right on the inside of your big toe. It's like a ping with a bit of swaz, but it doesn't swaz much. It bends, but it doesn't bend much. It's pace and bend.
The keeper took 1 step
to the right.
To the right.
Yeah, to the left.
Yeah.
Should have gone to the left.
Yeah. I wish you could sing. So many trips with you, I wished you could sing, honestly. But that's what I like about you as well. You always had on the pitch, always self-confidence in your own ability, whether football or vocal.
Yeah, even if I can't play football or can't sing, I still think I can.
Yeah, one of those haters again.
Yeah.
No, but he is something special. And I thought summed up Reuben Colwill, his reputation already, that Darren Moore's Port Vale, I know you've got big time for Darren Moore.
Yeah, I love that.
he doubled up on him.
Yeah,
On that,
absolutely.
In that 0-0 draw at Port Vale.
And I thought that was a really good point for Cardiff because you were stressed, right? You're a young squad and you're stressed. And I was
physically,
yes. And I was
really
thinking to myself, if they lose this, these are the sort of results that affect you long term in the season, which means your season is like, people know they can get at you then. When you're resolute and you hold steadfast, going forward in future, there'll be bigger tests, but there'll be games where they'll be stressed like that and they'll win.
Yeah.
Right? To come 0-0, clean sheet, massive. They'll nick 1-0, and what happens is next week we're going to, I was going to say Sheffield United, but they're in League One, and they I keep forgetting.
We're going to Sheffield United.
Yeah, we'll be going there for a year at least. So you come up against someone else in League One, and you go away from home. You know you can handle it. Yeah, you know you can handle it against anybody. That doesn't affect you. The momentum of the opposing crowd, you actually look forward to it as a bit of a battle rather than it's getting on top of us. So I thought it was an excellent point. Yeah. But his free kicks, different gravy.
Well, yeah, 2 in 3 games so far.
It's a different gravy.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you don't think you got ability, watch that.
Yeah.
Come talk to me.
Yeah, quite. Just last thing on Cardiff, who have got Rotherham on Saturday. Ollie Palmer signed a 4-year deal just before the season started. Caught me a bit by surprise, I've got to say. Brilliant against Rotherham. Poor against Port Vale. I don't want to judge him this early, but he's got to show more consistency, hasn't he? I think.
But he's
They've
not alone.
shown their faith in him now.
We've just said about Ruben. We've just said the same thing about Ollie. There's plenty of them, that should be in the Championship, right? Because when they're at their height, you look comfortable in the Championship, but at your worst, you're ineffective then. So I think 4-year deal. I think a big part of both him and Ruben, and why Ruben has started so well, is the manager. I don't care what anyone says. Any footballer, I don't care if you're the top Premier League striker or bottom of the National League, South, North, Conference, wherever. If you've got a manager that loves you or has total confidence in you, it is such a difference and you'll know it as soon as they come through the door. Right? As soon as they come through the door, if, like when I was at Blackburn, Graeme Souness come through the door, he's on me. I know, listen, my time's numbered, right? You know these things as players. My days are up.
Why was Graeme Souness after you? Just didn't like the way he played? Or?
No, I think he just wanted I just think he wanted a shot at the title. So, I said to him, let's put the gloves on and let's do it. But he backed out. He wasn't that tough. Trust me. He wasn't that tough.
Well, you could say that.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly, in case I bump into him in the press box.
I hope to bump into him in the press box one day. Trust me. But they do. They come in. They'll. I remember when he came into Blackburn, he was straight on Chris Sutton, straight on Billy McKinley, and you think, you're gone as players.
But then sometimes managers have to assert their authority, and sometimes taking on a player is the way to do that, isn't it?
Yeah. Not in my opinion, no.
All right, okay.
Because when you're the manager, you get the respect anyway as the manager. Everyone's sitting waiting for you to prove yourself. Do you know what I mean? We're sitting as players going, okay, Gaffer, let's see what you got then. And training, I'll tell you what, training was decent. It was sharp, it was thoughtful, it was high quality. And you start, okay, and then you win a game, and then the ball rolls like that. Kind of like what's happening with BBM. You started well, and you look and you think, well, Cardiff look a much better team than they did last season. I know they're in a league below, but they're far better organised on the press and everything. They're not sitting back and trying to counter-attack without the players to counter-attack. So, yeah, managers and players, you kind of know when a new manager comes in whether you're in his plans.
Okay, on Cardiff, you're picking the team against Rotherham. Who'd you go with the wings? Tanner and Ashford?
Yeah,
Isaac Davis, Willock?
Yeah,
Willock.
I still think Tanner Ashford. I think Ashford is for me, he would have to have a run of a few games for me to sit him down then. And that comes with all youth players. But I think he could be past that little dip that younger players have because he's played so many games, like last season and the season before, back end of the season before, last season he was involved. So he might be past it, but we'll see. But I would go with, Tanner. And then what's good is having Willock there. It puts pressure on them. All right, so you've got to maintain your standards. And if, like what you're saying is Tanner and his consistency, if it drops and Willock steps in, but then Willock, consistency was a big thing for him last season. So you need to maintain a higher standard because Cardiff are looking for promotion immediately.
Yeah, they should be, yeah. If you're going to take on Souness, don't take him on in a swimming race because he's swum the charity.
Yeah, I seen that. I would never, mate.
Fair play to him.
I would never do it. Like my mate said to me, once you get an award, Nate, you come part of the food chain.
Is that right?
Yeah. And he's a marine biologist, so sharks in the water.
Yeah.
Cage goes in the water. You see Jaws, right?
Yeah.
Goodbye and farewell to my face.
I told you about your singing voice. This is Rob and Blakey's Commentary Box podcast, loud and clear on Welsh football, recorded at the University of South Wales Atrium campus with the support of the journalism and media courses. Look out for us on all social media channels, X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and of course YouTube and anywhere else where you get your podcasts, including Spotify. You talked about Cardiff being better organised. I think that has been the hallmark of David Hughes's tenure at Newport County so far. They were beaten by Millwall in the Carabao Cup, but I was there. They played pretty well. Millwall had to work hard for the win. They were never out of the game, Newport. Second half, Millwall's greater squad depth and fitness came through. And quality came through, but there were some big performances by Newport players. Kai Whitmore, who slotted onto possibly the best pass in League Two last Saturday from Matt Smith, the Wales international, to give Kai Whitmore the goal, which opened the account for Newport at Crawley in a win at Crawley, which was fair play. Someone you were there. They just look organised, even when they've had such little possession. Against Crawley, they had 39% possession. Been doing my homework here, Nate.
You clearly have.
39% possession.
That thing called the almanac.
And yet their expected goals were 1.48. Crawley's were 0.96. They had 31% against Notts County and drew. And Barnet, they had 24% in the Carabao Cup first round.
We had a stat bar or something.
Well, I'm just saying. So they are better organised because it's not just luck that they get bodies in the right place to block shots outside the penalty area.
That's not luck. That's hard work, anticipation, training, work on the training ground. Like I say, organisation. Listen, luck is, you're walking across the line, the ball smacks you, and it goes away when you had no idea. If you're working, trying to get a block or make a save or make a tackle, that's just graft. So yeah, I think they've done well though. I like the fact that Hughes has gone with we're trying to solidify the defence first, but I do maintain, the problem will come is if that stress breaks. If when you're being stressed, you break a couple of times, right? The problem is then you've not got no fallback, as in well, we were transitioning to a better footballing team, more possession based. I always say, like, when teams get relegated or they're not going well, Cardiff, Swansea, they've both had times over recent times where they've not gone well. And I always say, like, if you're not performing well, it's a big problem, because soon as you start playing well or performing well, and it's just about, we won and we were just kicking it long, we won. As soon as you start winning, the fans go, well, we're not enjoying the football. Do you know what I mean?
It was interesting against Millwall. I spoke to a lot of fans as I walked out, and not one of them said, "Oh, this is, beaten." No boos. Just, in fact, everybody stayed to applaud them because it was a good game against a decent, a well-coached championship.
Yeah. And it will, but I'd still maintain at some point you're highlighting facts and stats there for a reason.
Yeah,
you're almost saying
so you're saying
can that go along
this?
Right? And you're asking me that question basically.
You just told me now, haven't you? I finally got it out of you.
You're asking me the question.
That took some going, didn't it?
In so many ways, can they continue this?
Yeah,
I don't think anyone can. And there are teams that have been built, but then you've got to have some world-class player or players up top that are going to win you games.
Yeah, I think Dave Hughes is aware that he needs.
Well, he's said it.
Forward.
He's said it. He's not unaware of it. This is not him, is it? This is for the club to, back him. It's okay saying, "Oh, we've got the first lowest budget in the league." Well, you're gonna have to find a way to increase it. You know, he needs players, and if you want to stay in the league, then because they're favourites to go down, I think
they were, and right? Some bookies, yeah.
So, they looking at what they have now, it's okay now.
Yeah, I agree.
I always say it's when you get to November, December, January.
Well, February, the drop off was January onwards.
It was astronomical, right?
Yeah.
So there will come times where injuries will play a part. Squad depth will play a part. You've got to have. It's difficult for someone like David Hughes for his first job to go into that job without a full tool set.
Yeah.
And be successful. I always say if you've got all the tools and you don't know how to sort them out, that's on you. But if you haven't got the tools, then it's difficult. And I think he's done a terrific job.
On a lighter note, Newport County supporters, wherever you are,
if
you go to Rodney Parade, and
great atmosphere,
part of the great atmosphere,
partly
because they've converted Jeff Beck's classic Hi Ho Silver Lining
and that drum beat
into Hi Ho Newport County. But all I'm saying is, when the players are walking out and the music builds up, don't sing it because we've heard you sing already. And they start clapping. You've got to stay in time with the music.
Yeah. Oh, they were out of time, were they?
It gets me so frustrated. Should I be as annoyed about it? Not annoyed, but I'm thinking, and then suddenly, somehow, they all are back in time.
Yeah.
But when they have to sing, Newport County.
Maybe just get yourself conduct.
But these little things,
little
they
things
play on my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't even noticed, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
I can't sing, can I? So.
Oh, we've heard.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I still think, in all seriousness, I think they do need to add to their squad.
Yeah.
I think Hughes has said it openly. I think Hugh Jenkins probably knows it openly. He's been in the game a long time.
Yeah.
And like I keep maintaining, go and get 3 or 4 experienced players. It's so many players that are available at the end, especially now, who have not been signed or picked up by anybody, right? And I'm not going to say, oh, him, because I haven't gone into that depth. But if I was working for Newport, man, it's like loads of them.
Yeah, well, I think we'll be tracking the before deadline. I think there's going to be plenty of chat
Yeah,
about
I
that
think you'll get at least 3
with all
players
four
in.
clubs.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think with all the four
Yeah.
Football League clubs.
Yeah, Cardiff could do with some more depth, mind. I mean, they
Yeah.
had a massive pool of players, but they almost had like every manager came here, it was like Kitty in a sweet shop. Like we said on episode 1, I didn't even realize Ryan Wintle was still there.
Yeah.
Right? So they had players like just like strewn all over the place.
Yeah.
So cut it into like a proper squad and then start again sort of thing. But don't be thinking I need 40 players.
It's the Rob and Blakey Commentary Box podcasts, and we're being recorded at the University of South Wales Atrium campus with the support of the media and journalism courses. Now, here's something for you, Nathan Blake. Merthyr into the National League North for the first time last Saturday. Nearly 1,800 at Penydarren Park. Beat Southport 2-0. Lewis Twamley, you and I.
Young Twammers. Yeah.
And Morgan Lewis with the goals. And before the game, they had a presentation to Kevin Rogers, sort of master of all his surveys there, but an ambassadorial cap. I love that.
That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch.
But what a great occasion for Merthyr. And it was really, we should have mentioned them last week.
Yeah.
Saying that, it was happening. But brilliant for them and a brilliant start.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like we both know Lewis and his mum and dad. I think, I always say to you, sometimes things just fit well. And he just fits
because he was at Merthyr.
Yeah.
Or he was at Newport. Then he was at Merthyr.
Yeah.
Then he went away to Yeovil, but has now come back.
Yeah.
And I remember putting on X to him, actually, they'll welcome you with open arms.
Of course they will.
Welcome.
Yeah,
and he has felt so welcome, you can tell.
And like personalities are different, right? Some people can go into a club and not give a fly in and, still perform well or not perform at all.
Yeah.
It happens. But, I look at Lewis and I look at what got him his move in the first place. And why he was on it. And I actually thought to myself, Newport might actually chuck him a League Two sort of offering. That's why I thought, especially with the players they sign in from the Welsh League. But, didn't happen. And sometimes you get a move and it doesn't work out for you. Like I mentioned earlier, we've seen players in the Premier League, Championship. We think, and then we see him in Champions League finals or Europa League finals or wherever. So, Lewis is gone. I'm quite worked out for him, but come back. And he didn't just score a goal. He scored a great goal.
Yeah, he did score a great goal.
And they look good again. I'm looking forward to the derby will be Hereford United, won't it?
It will be, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward. So I got a friend at Hereford. I've got 2 friends at Hereford, Matt and Joni, who hopefully get me a ticket to go up there. And I'll...
Honestly, you're always looking for tickets for
places.
Anywhere I can go in the Cymru Prem. Oh, we've had an invite to Colwyn Bay, by the way.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I think I look forward to that Hereford-Merthyr derby. I really do, because I love a derby. I think that's what makes football, honestly. I think it's wonderful. So, yeah, and it'll be a derby that probably hasn't been played in. You've got mad stats today. Last time that was played, Merthyr, Hereford.
I know you've got me. Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, I just thought I'd check it over to you because you were statting me today.
Okay. But yeah, a brilliant start for them. They go to Peterborough Sports on Saturday. They'll take hundreds of fans with them because they always do. And
it's great to see Welsh football's in the great...
Yeah, exactly.
Well, aside from Cardiff getting relegated, it's in good shape and it's growing.
Yeah.
And, so I think Ian Hunt asked me on Saturday, like, what can Newport do, like, as a club to improve? And I said, like, they get held back by the council. You and I both know, right, Rob? They're trying to get a training ground. Now, there must be somewhere I know of a few places in Newport that they could be allocated the training ground. If you want the club to grow, otherwise, what's going to happen is there'll come a time where Hugh will say, enough's enough. There's no point. If I can't grow and scale, then there's no point in being here.
It's one for future pods in that what happens if the Dragons, the Welsh Rugby Union, are looking at changing their structure, possibility of one region going, maybe two regions
which
going.
Which is always talk of Newport.
That's right? It. Always talk of the Dragons who have the stadium, of course. So what happens then? So all that is in the future, and it's one for a future pod, a Rob and Blakey commentary box.
Yeah, on county and facilities wise, it'd be really, really. But I maintain, I think the council have to do more to help them. If the importance of they've experienced not having professional football in Newport, right? For a good 15, 20 years. You look at other clubs, you mentioned Rotherham, a place like Barnsley, Swansea, what happened to them when they were in the Premier League, Cardiff, what it does for your city, the extra money, revenue it generates. So help it grow.
And it would be remiss of me not to say that Newport are currently using the training facilities of University of South Wales.
Well, there you go.
Where we are at the moment.
Yeah.
Recording Rob and Blakey's Commentary Box podcast with Loud and Clear on Welsh football. Have a look at the Cymru Premier League table after one game, and you will not believe your eyes. Britain Ferry are top after a 3-0 win over TNS, the kings of the Cymru Prem, who are bottom of the table. I took a photo just to, maybe rib Mike Harris if I see him, but a brilliant win for Britain Ferry on the weekend. And with Penabont playing Haverfordwest and beating Haverfordwest in the opening game of the Cymru Prem, would you believe it? It's Penabont against TNS this weekend.
Okay, my question to you is, February, who will be top?
Well, I think what we're looking for is a more competitive league.
Is it there, though?
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Could this...
It needs to be there, doesn't it?
Actually, you've got to say for Britain Ferry, Andy Dyer, the Britain Ferry manager, seems to have a bit of a hex over TNS because they actually beat them last season as well.
Yeah.
But a 3-0 win, is something else.
Yeah.
I was looking it up, that apparently it's the first time TNS have lost by 3 goals in 171 domestic games.
What's going on with you today?
Sorry, I just had too much time on my hands. But no, it just shows.
But it's a hell of a,
it is.
It is a hell of a record from TNS. But I maintain, and I'd say all the time, the problem is you can't have one team win the league all the time. It's tough enough with just when you've got 2 contenders, but you need to have a competitive league. You need realistically 4 or 5 teams who can win it in that Welsh league. It needs it, right?
Yeah,
it needs it to improve the competitiveness, because TNS have got sort of a hierarchical position over everybody else, right? And they're now in Europe every year, so that creates a bigger gap, an increasing gap between your budget.
Yeah,
because Penabont might be there for a while, then Colwyn Bay might be there for a while,
and the same with Haverfordwest. It's all about squad depth.
Might be there for a while, but then they drop off. So
yeah.
But TNS have been continuous for a decade.
Yeah.
So they've got a run on you, and I always say it's for the other teams to catch them up. So listen, I don't wish no ill on them, TNS. I'm just saying, for the sake of the league, I'd love to see someone else win the league.
Well, it's as Mike Harris says, it's up to people to
catch them up,
clubs to catch them up and go past them.
Absolutely.
But credit to Britain Ferry for
and Colwyn Bay,
one of the big shocks of maybe one of the biggest shocks of the league.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on X, Robin Blakey, at Robin Blakey on X. We're on Blue Sky, on Threads. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Are
we going to Colwyn Bay, by the
big a
way?
shot is it? I'll have a look. We'll see.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Well, no,
hold on. You can't get invited
from
and then
somebody
say, it's not official from the club, is it?
No, it came from somebody who is a big Colwyn Bay fan and
okay.
Who
It might be to his house.
you've actually spoken to on phone-ins in the past.
Oh, have I?
Yeah, so there we are. Anyway, I think that'll just about do it. It's been a decent week.
I can't believe we're turning out podcasts like for fun here. We're like every one a week.
Well, it's fun for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I clearly got less time on my hands than Stato over there.
Well, no, but it just informs. I like to inform, and
You've always been that way, Robert.
yeah, thank you.
Ill-informed, but you do,
So, I hope you've enjoyed episode 3. Another one will be along shortly. Don't forget, episode 1 and episode 2 are still available on X, on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and of course YouTube and anywhere else you get your podcasts, including Spotify. You have hopefully been enjoying Robin Blakey's commentary box, loud and clear on Welsh football. And of course, we have been recording at the University of South Wales Atrium campus with the support of the journalism and media courses.